What in the world happened with Roethlisberger last week with the ribs?
I'm listening to Mike.
ability.
I'm listening to Mike. Mike said that he got a shot, and the shot had to sink in, so to speak, and get into the ribs to take the pain away. I believe Mike. I believe there's a lot of people that's talking about Mike Thomas. I think that is crazy.
Well, I say here all the time, like Mike, if Steeler Nation finally wants to bounce him, guess what? He, speaking on behalf of every other team that's going to be hiring a new coach,
he will be gone.
Thank you. Okay,
Absolutely.
So I will say that, but it was just bizarre and strange, and the fact that they didn't say that after the game, that
yes,
hey, they needed a shot and it had to sink in. Instead, it was, well, there was a flow, and then we find out from Big Ben and Mike Tomlin that the equipment is old, and they didn't really get a good read on things. It was just a bizarre explanation, and how it came out in dribs and drabs makes you think there is something else going on there.
First of all, there's no problem with the offense. The offense is they put up points, they put up 21, they still lost. It's the defense, and that's been the issue for several years now. It's like somewhere along the line, the defense has to be adaptable. We can't always say, "Well, we do what we do." Mm-hmm. I go back to San Diego, and they put Keenan Allen at number 3, and we just kept the linebacker. You just kept the linebacker there over and over and over. So a linebacker has to cover the best route running receiver in the National Football League. That's crazy. And you never make an adjustment, and you turn back around and go, well, we do what we do.
Right.
That you can't say that. You have to be adapt. If you want to win, if they're going to take advantage of your defense, you have to change something.
Well, who's that on?
That's on Keith Butler. He's a DC. I know Mike has a DC background, and he has some, his fingerprints on some of the defense, because they do play the Tampa 2 now. Mm-hmm. They play a lot of 2-man or cover 5, which is when the corners and the nickels are playing underneath the receivers, and you got a two-man shell on top. Mm-hmm. They do that a lot more than they've previously done it in the past. But it's Keith Butler. You have to say, if they're putting Keenan Allen there, I have to make an adjustment. Either I go man-to-man, and I put a light body on him. You can't tell me it's 3rd and 4. It's a critical situation. You have to get the stop to get the ball back for your offense to try to go back down and score, and you put your linebacker on him again. All they did was clear out the 2 receivers on the right-hand side. Keelan hesitated and ran it out. That was the easiest 3rd down conversion that Phillip Rivers had all year.
Well, we had, again, LaDainian Tomlinson on last hour, Rod Woodson, and he said that if Pittsburgh doesn't adjust on defense against New England.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they always allow all the underneath, and that's where Edelman and Gronk just have a feast, that if they don't change, they're going to get beat.
And you're right, Rich. He's absolutely right. That I can't remember what year they beat New England. The Steelers did. But that year, they played man-to-man. They came in and said, we're not giving you all this underneath stuff. We're not going to sit back in these zones and let your receivers just play isolation against our linebackers. We're going to get in your faces. We're going to play man-to-man. You don't have any real fast receivers, so go play man-to-man and get after the quarterback. That's what you have to do with Tom. You don't do that to Tom Brady. That's not even funny. I mean, he's going to pick you apart. And so if they don't make that adjustment with Tom in this game, it's going to be a long – and if they lose, you got to remember what Baltimore's doing. And they have the Saints – next week, talking about the Steelers.
Yes.
And they finish up with the Bengals, which is not a give me. It's a divisional game.
Well, excuse me, don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns also, Roderick. The way that they are playing right now.
With Baltimore, yes.
This is a huge game, Cleveland and Denver.
Yes.
Let's just say Baker Mayfield is, in fact, the unluckiest lock of the week, as I already put my marker on it.
I wonder if he wakes up dangerous.
He wakes up dangerous every day. He wakes up dangerous in Denver, which, by the way, with altitude is particularly dangerous.
Yes.
Okay. So, although I don't know if there's any scientific empirical evidence to back up that. Yeah. Wins that one. Then home for Cincinnati, which I know he's not a gimme, but there's Hugh Jackson there, and I think they would like to give him the Heisman again at the 50-yard line.
You better believe that
with the dog pound in full throat. And then they're at Baltimore.
Yes.
And we saw an Ohio quarterback make a throw in Week 17 in that building that made him the folk hero of Western New York. If you recall, that's how things ended.
Yes.
Don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns is what I'm saying, Rod.
You know what? Listen, that number 6 spot right now for the wild card.
Up for grabs.
It's up for grabs. It really is. That's a lot of work that they still have to do. And they have to hope that the other teams in front of them lose. So that's a good wish list. It really is. I don't know if that's going to happen. Now, they can't beat, I don't know if they can beat Denver, even though their defense, especially without, you don't have your top corner. You know, they do have a running game. And the little fella, you know, I give him a hard time and talk about Baker Mayfield, but he plays well. He has that dog in him.
He sure does.
That if he's your guy, you love him.
Yeah.
If you play against him, oh, you absolutely hate him.
Don't you want that guy?
You do.
Who is that?
I like that.
Who is that guy on your team?
Oh man, we had multiple guys like that. You know, I mean, you know, Greg Lloyd was, you know, people love to hate Greg Lloyd. He had a disposition that was like no other.
He woke up dangerous.
He woke up really dangerous. I mean,
a lot of dangerous wake-ups for him.
But, you know, you want that type of player on your team. You want that that guy that has that crazed dog in him, but it's tamed, and he knows how to play with that. You know, he does a really good job of getting in and out of the pocket, looking down the field. He knows when to run, when to throw. He's come in playing well as a young player, and you know, hopefully, I think he can sustain it. They got a lot of young talent in Cleveland.
They sure do.
They really do. Now they got to see if is Greg the head coach? Is he going to be that guy?
It's a lot up in the air, but
It
right
is.
now, in the next 3 weeks, all I'm saying is do not sleep on the Browns.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.